Beat 500, get into the wild card.
86 got the Phillies all the way to the World
I
Series.
hate to break it to you, man. I don't think it was your vision.
Tipo un caballo.
This podcast is perfectly named, I would say.
I hate to make excuses for Sandy and the rest of the
No, you don't. You've been doing it all year.
I do hate it. I'm just gonna say it.
And fucking hitting bombs to fucking Calle Ocho. Like,
Reject that.
Oh, that cut out kind of randomly.
Ooh.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 21 of the Battered Marlins podcast. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Granada. Alongside me, I have another two Battered Marlins fans. Our boy Cali isn't here today, but we're going to hold it down in his place. And as always, I am going to tell you what I am wearing on my head. I am wearing actually an Inter Miami. I went off sport. An Inter Miami hat. I went out to Nashville this past weekend, got to celebrate Inter Miami's first ever trophy. Good time. Had never been to Nashville before. Awesome city. If anybody's never been out there, definitely a party city from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And the bachelorette capital of the world, it seems, because it felt like every couple minutes there was a fire truck, a tractor trailer, just some type of vehicle going ahead and just dragging along like 20 females there partying their behinds off. So it was a good time. It was a good time. So without further ado, Mr. Spaz, how are you?
doing well. Happy to be back. I was out last week. Speaking of bachelorettes, I was at a bachelor party, except in Key West. So I was eating and drinking and fishing, and I had like a 3-day hangover. So I'm happy to be back and yeah, talk some fish.
What's going on, Brandon?
Oh, just got back. Marlins, as you guys know, optioned me to AAA for the last 2 weeks. I finally got the September call up. So I'm back.
Spaz back from Cleveland also.
I know. They just released him straight out Segura style. But glad to be back and glad to be talking fish, man.
Yeah, you know what? It usually is fun to talk fish, but recently it just hasn't been as fun. Since the All-Star break, the fish are 12-24, and that's 36 games. We were at one point, I think, going into the All-Star break, we were 14 games over 500.
Yeah.
We are now just 2 games over 500, but yet somehow only 2 games back of the wild card spot. So all hope isn't necessarily lost just quite yet. But seeing the product on the field, it hasn't been necessarily the greatest look. So I guess we'll get started with the series. So they went out and they had a 3-game series in LA against the Dodgers. And they started off game 1, Sandy on the mound. And, they looked good. They won. Sandy looked good.
Runs. We put up like 11 runs.
Yeah, they put up 11 runs. And but things kind of went downhill from there because after game 1 came game 2 and 3, which ended up being a early doubleheader, right? Because usually the doubleheaders are because you have to postpone a game and you move it to the future. But they brought it back because all that rain that was expected on Sunday. And I don't know if you guys saw the images of Dodger Stadium with all the water surrounding it.
Yeah.
That was wild.
It was bad.
Yeah, that was wild. So, but then they went ahead and they got swept in the doubleheader, and we'll get, I guess, more into detail about those doubleheaders now. But just overall, your thoughts. I'll start with you, Brandon. Your thoughts on the Dodger series?
Oh, after the Friday result, 11-3, I was feeling good going into the doubleheader. I thought maybe we could take one out of the 2, but losing them both 1-3 really sucked. I think both those games were right there for the taking, and we'll get in the Padres series later. I think the same thing kind of happened with those, and we just end up like, I don't even know. It's like the bats don't show up when the pitching shows up, and the pitching doesn't show up when the bats do. So I'm hoping, we still kind of control our own destiny. I think we're only 3.5 out of wild card right now. So not time to hit the panic button yet, but that Dodgers series is disheartening. Though. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, and we talked about this at the trade deadline, like we went out and we bought controllable pieces that will probably be back next year that have a lot of promise. And I think, if we make the wild card this year, I think that's possible. And I think that's a huge success if we do that. But I think next year, we're only a couple pieces away from being serious contenders. But, we're kind of, Spaz and I are used to where we are right now. I mean, like this is where we've been for 30 years.
Yeah, but they usually don't give you so much hope, right? Because you go into the All-Star break, you're
Yeah.
14 games over 500. You go into the deadline and you get a couple bats. You feel like we're going all in. We got a solid squad. To be 14 games over 500, I don't care who your opponents are. You're a solid squad. Maybe not World Series contender, but you're solid. And to see the wheels kind of fall off the way they have, you could be as battered as you want. That hurts.
So
it hurts, but if you think about how the season's gone, like we started falling apart before we even brought in the bats. Like it was, wheels were starting to come off, and when you look at our season as a whole, you look at the beginning of the season, and the big difference and the reason why we were so successful is because we were winning all those one-run games, and those are games that historically have gone against us. And so we were able to flip a lot of those in our favor. But now what we're seeing is it's not so much the one-run games that we're losing. We're losing by multiple runs at this point. So, we'll get into it. I know we have our show notes with a lot of the issues that we've identified. So we'll dive into it deeper. But, just to close out the Dodgers series, I was happy taking 1 out of 2 from them. I thought we would struggle with them more than the Padres, but definitely dropped the ball on that doubleheader. We should have had, I think it was the first game. The
Yuri game.
Yeah, the Yuri game. We should have had that wrapped up easy, and they just didn't support him.
But you know why?
Because the ninth inning.
Because of Dave Robertson. I told you.
Well,
you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you warned us.
To quote Danny, he said, "These are his exact words. He's gonna make you sweat it out a bunch of times."
Yeah, he will.
And he's never gonna have a 1, 2, 3 in it.
No, he's never. Has he had one yet? I don't think he has. He probably hasn't.
His first appearance, I think, was 1, 2, 3.
Well, he always lets a man on base. Always. It's like clockwork. He might get out of it, but he'll make you sweat, or he'll just give it up like he did on Saturday and ruin Yuri's game. Spaz, what did you take away from that Dodger series?
Well, I mean, after watching the first game, 11 runs, that's not nothing. That's something against World Series contender, a team that's really good. And then that second, the first of the doubleheader going into the ninth, I was like, all right, we're doing this. We're going to close it out. We'll take 2 out of 3. That's fine. And then I think just, wind out of our sails, just fucked. Like we're out. So that was a huge bummer for me. But going back to what you were saying about being 14 games over 500, and we saw what this team could do, it reminded me of Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems, where he says he brings up the rock, and he's like, "Why would you let me see it if I can't have it?" Like, I feel like the Marlins, said to us, they showed us we're fucking 14 over 500, and we're like, we can't fucking have it. Why the fuck would you do that? So that's how I feel.
I remember we had this conversation. I forget how many games were left, but I remember I told you guys, if we go exactly 500, I think we would end up with like 86, 87 wins, and we're like, we'll take it. This team should be good enough to end up at least 500 from here on out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they haven't not even close. Not even 12 and 24. No. Not even close. So it's been really rough. But gotta give Yuri his flowers. I mean, going out, like, I understand that the Yankees aren't the Yankees, but he came back and he played against the Yankees and in LA against the Dodgers. I mean, no matter how those teams are looking, it's the emblem on those hats, right? It's the logo. You respect those franchises, and those are big spots to start in. And he showed out, maybe not so much against the Yankees, but against the Dodgers, 6 shutout innings, 10 Ks, 2 hits, no earned runs. Like, Yuri showed up, and it was really cool to see him play the way he did that Saturday night. Again, Dave Robertson, fuck that guy. All right. Anything else on the Dodgers before we move on to the Padres?
No, just want to. C says we got to wake up, which yes, we do got to wake up. This team has to wake up, and then Historian says we just don't have the horses to finish this race. Maybe a September call up causes a spark, but one of the toughest schedules to close out is rough, and he's 100%.
I think we're top 5, right?
Yeah,
we have the first hardest schedule remaining in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, so in the National League.
Brutal, man. That's a brutal thing to know. It's awful, but we go again. Let's go.
Oh, that's it. We just got to keep going. So, Game 4, 5, and 6 of the last two series against the Padres, and we had Ryan Weathers out there. Brian, that's your boy, ain't it?
Yeah, I still think he's got time to develop into something. I mean, he's a young guy. I don't think he's ready for the majors. I think we've seen that. I mean, I think he's 1-8 this year between us and the Padres, and I think he's got 7.3 ERA, 7.32. I think last I saw.
Wasn't it
So
weird seeing Coop out there?
it was. I
It was very
didn't.
weird.
I have to say I didn't like it. I didn't
No,
like
no, it
seeing
was
him in the
very, very
Padres
weird, yeah.
uniform, but I think Weathers maybe forgot that he was playing for the Marlins and thought he was throwing batting practice or something. I mean, it was bad.
It was that grand slam, man. Once they hit that grand slam off of him, it was
that was it.
That was
Like
it.
nothing was going to happen after that. Spaz, I don't know if you want to pile on Weathers while we're talking about it, but
So funny story. Our boy Andy in Shenandoah, Inter Miami.
yeah,
Guy. So he's a Padres fan, and he wrote to us.
Is he?
And he says, yeah, he's a huge Padres
Mhm.
fan, and he says, "Well, you guys are gonna take 2 out of 3." And then I go, "No, I don't think so. Like, we're just not looking that good." And then he goes, "Oh wait, I forgot. Weathers plays for you guys. Yeah, we might take this."
Oh well, if that isn't an endorsement, I don't know what is.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, that's
Wow.
a funny story that he came. Yeah, he's a huge Padres fan, but yeah, that series sucked. It was not.
yeah.
Yeah.
It broke my heart because the middle game, Luzardo. I mean, everybody was talking. Do we skip a start? Do we give him a day
was
off?
us
And
last
like
week. I know
he
you-
came, he balled out, and really, really earned that win there. And yesterday, Sandy pitched well enough to win that game. And, we saw the meltdown in the dugout when he got pulled out. He trashed the dugout. And then when they interviewed him afterwards, and he's 100% right, they asked him, "What do you think's going wrong?" He goes, "Everything." He goes, "I'm not getting I'm not getting run support," which is something I've said all year. When he pitches, the bats go to sleep.
It's a
And
coincidence, though.
it's
No,
a
no,
trend
man.
at this point. It's not a
No.
coincidence when it's happened all season. But and to be fair, like Sandy had that rough first inning. If he didn't have that rough inning to open everything up, maybe things would be different. But it's just
They put up 11 runs his first start against the Dodgers.
well,
And that's it. We used them all up. We used them
that's
all
the
up.
exception to the rule so far this season. Like, he's not pitching terrible. I mean, he's only got a 4 ERA around 4. Like, yeah, it's not the Sandy of last year, but he's pitched pretty well, and he's just not getting support anywhere. And so it's painful to see him go through that and to see him be that frustrated because like the guy wants to win very clearly and he's capable of winning. It's just, when you only get 4 hits in a game, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Look,
and like,
I
listen-
agree with historian real quick. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Scott, to cut you
Yeah,
off,
go ahead.
but I agree with him. He's earned the right to roast the offense because since the All-Star
100%.
break, he has played much better, right? Because before the All-Star break, I think he was coming around again. But at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season was rough, and he's really brought it back.
No, I agree 100%. And somebody said it today. I think it might have been Mish that he said, he's never heard Sandy say words like that or, kind of bring out not attitude, but he's not lying. He's saying the truth. Put up runs and I'm going to do my job and, hopefully you do your job. So I agree with our boy there. And hopefully we can do something, man, because that shit sucked. It was awful.
Yeah.
It did. And that last game against the Padres, we lost. It was 4-0, I think. It was 4-0.
Yeah.
We had the bases loaded in the 9th inning with 1 out.
Mhm.
And for some reason, they pinch hit Sanchez with Hampton. Sanchez isn't playing great, but why? I would have kept
Hampson's
Sanchez in
been tearing it up in AAA. Like, if I had to choose between the two, I'd put Hampson in. I think that's
Yeah?
the right call.
Okay,
Hampson,
see, 'cause I don't keep up with AAA. Okay.
and let me pull it up. But Hampson, I believe, is hitting like 330 since he got sent back down. Like, he's on fire. And that's the move I would make. Because, like, Sanchez is not
No, I know.
I don't know. He's been gone like
I'm thinking of this guy earlier in the season. I'm like, why is he pinch hitting for Sanchez? Well, he pinch hit, he struck out, and then with one out, bases loaded, we couldn't even get a sac fly. We ended up strike. They basically struck out all 3 outs. It was all three strikeouts, and it was just rough, man. Like it's very frustrating to see. Like Spaz said so eloquently in the beginning of the season, we are the Michael Jordans of leaving runners on base, and this series showed it.
There's a very she's huge on Panthers Twitter and Marlins Twitter, Miss Mambo. Every time we have the bases loaded, she'll send out a tweet. It'll say, 1 out, 2 outs, Marlins have the bases loaded. What's gonna happen? And more likely than not, like everyone starts firing out, but most likely than not, we're not doing anything. It's the most horrible thing, but it's kind of funny.
well, and so before we move on, another key takeaway for the Padres series is: do we think that we have seen the last of Avi Garcia?
Oh my God, the Avi thing! I forgot about the Avi.
Yeah,
Right. Was it his hamstring
pulled
running to
up.
first base?
Yeah, he pulled up running to first, and our friend Peter Pratt is all over it. He said that was his last time we see him in a Marlins uniform, and God, I hope he's right.
That it was overwhelming. Which look, dude, you never want to get injured, whatever, this and that. But the fact is that this motherfucker is not producing for our baseball club. So I understand people are
one of the top earners.
Yeah, you shouldn't celebrate an injury. I fucking get that. Yes, I know that. But it'd be nice to have him not on the lineup and maybe give somebody a chance.
I think we should protect him. Let him come back from this injury, play it out in AAA, and let him have an opportunity to go somewhere else next year.
How bad did this team look if they don't trade for Josh Bell and Berger?
Oh my God.
Oh man,
they've been the offense over the last week, the last 2 series. They were the offense.
Well, and Solar, let's not forget Solar.
Yes.
Solar's had a good couple series here.
Yeah, 3 home runs. He had that 2 home run game. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Solar also. It's just that it's with him, it's all or nothing. He struck out 10 times in 24 at bats. So with him, it's all or nothing. But he's when he hits it, he hits it.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
But yeah, no, you're right. We would be in big trouble without Berger and Bell. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, it's rough. And Luis Ariz has come back to earth, unfortunately. Over the last week, he batted 227.
Yeah.
I have to check how he's batting since the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, let's see. Luis Ariz, 286. Obviously good, but not what he was in the beginning of the season. So
yeah, the guy's only hitting 355 for the season. I think it's time to bench him.
And I don't think I think DLC's another one that's kind of not doing much, right?
Yeah, but he kind of always does that. He's super streaky. He carries the team for 2 weeks and then you don't see him for a month.
Hangs him up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Berger over since he's been with the Marlins is batting 347.
Yeah.
That was a great acquisition, man.
And Big Bell's Berger. Hitting 303.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those dudes are definitely earning their paycheck. We like them. We love them. We want more of them. And, we hopefully the other guys do something because it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the rough parts of. I mean, even though we already talked about some of the rough parts. So
you mean there's more?
Yeah. So let's start talking about, I guess, the most pressing issue, right? You don't put up runs. So what were we doing in the beginning of the season? We were winning these 1-run games, right? AJ Puck was pitching out of his mind. All of a sudden, we feel like I don't even think we have a closer. What?
Yeah.
Would you consider Dave Robertson our closer?
I mean, yeah, kind of, right?
That's what he is on the
technically,
the sheet.
Yes, I get it. Do you feel comfortable with him as the closer?
No.
No, at all. No, whatsoever.
No.
I mean, it's not like I had a great feeling going in when you said he's gonna make you sweat it out, Spurs. I already should have forgot about this.
And that was me being kind because I was like, you know what? Maybe he's kind of fixed those issues.
Maybe he's changed.
Left. But no, it looks a lot like the same.
No. Yeah.
I mean, what are our options from here? I don't think we have anybody in AAA or Double-A that came.
No.
We're pretty
No,
much
but
what we
would
have.
you be against putting Tanner Scott as the ninth inning man?
So I was gonna say that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's done very, very well for us. I mean, I'm not the manager. I don't fucking know what goes on back there. I don't know, but I'm open to it because whatever we're doing right now is not working. Giving up 3 runs in the ninth, it sucks.
I mean, I think at this point, like you pretty much have a platoon at closer. You know, Tanner can get the ball, Robertson can get the ball. You know, I think that's probably where we're at. It's just not a good place. We just I don't know, man. We hit on all our trades except for that one. And that's probably the one trade where we gave up the most value for. And so that sucks.
Yes,
But
that is a great point by historian. In the Dodgers game where he blew the lead, it wasn't even the ninth inning. They put him in the eighth inning, and he blew it in the eighth inning. So so not even Skip is showing confidence in him because, and he didn't show confidence in him, and he had a chance to go out there and prove everybody wrong, and he kind of just let it go. So yeah, Dave Robertson, like you said, Kim did a great job with Bell and with Berger, but Dave Robertson, and he's probably not going to be back next year. That was a win now
it's a rental.
Yeah, that was a win now move, and
yeah,
anything but that's happening.
So just quick thing before we move on, just because we talked on Skip and historian mentioned that not even Skip has confidence. How are you guys feeling about Skip right now?
Oh, that's a great question. Brian, how are you feeling about Skip?
You know, he's a first-year manager. I think he's done, Look, I think Skip overall, when you take the whole body of work into consideration, I think he's done all right. I don't know how I don't know what you want a manager to do when your players are playing like this. Like he can't go out there and teach Wendell how to play shortstop. Like he can't go out there and, you know, he can't go out there and hit for anybody. So he's tweaking the lineup. Like I saw one of the lineups where Solar was hitting leadoff, and I think I text you guys. I was like, wow, we're really fucked. And then Solar goes and has like a 2 home run game. So
he had a leadoff home run.
Yeah, a leadoff home run, and then he homered in his next at bat, I think. And so, you know, it's easy to sit here and criticize Skip and say he's not doing it, but he's trying new things. Like name another manager who would look at Jorge Soler and say, yeah, I'm going to hit him lead off. Like he's trying new things. And, you know, like, let's be honest, like we're coming back to earth now. Like how we finish the season. Yeah. And how we finish the season is going to dictate how we view Skip as a whole, his whole body of work. You know, first half of the season, I think we were all ready to say, oh yeah, NL manager of the year. He's got us 14 games over 500. But now, like, are we ready? Like nobody's calling for him to, like, you know, be fired or anything. I think he's doing pretty good for a first year manager. And I think I'm confident with him leading this team into the future.
Well,
I think
go ahead.
No, I just think like the other thing too is like, okay, so we haven't seen Sandy be as vocal as he's been or things like that. And, you know, like you guys talked with Mish about the players only meeting, and like, it wasn't negative. It was like guys trying to motivate each other. And like, while Sandy was being critical, I didn't feel like he was out of line or disrespectful to any of the other players. And he's not telling the media something he probably told all those guys in the dugout. Like, I feel like he's creating an environment where these guys are comfortable being themselves. They all look happy. Like Berger and Bell, since they've come in, have said nothing but great things about the club. And I think a lot of that is down to Skip. But he's going to have to figure out how to manage in certain situations. And, you know, it's growing pains, like historian just said.
Yeah, his historian chimed in. For those of you on audio, you know, growing pains, the marathon of the season affecting lots of stuff out of his control with injuries, but he has had some questionable decisions like putting Avi to pinch hit in a big spot. And that's what I questioned you about pulling Sanchez for Hampson, but you said that he's been balling in AAA. And if that's the case, maybe that's what he took into consideration. But while I was watching it, I thought, I don't know. But it didn't work. It didn't end up working out. If it would have worked out, obviously, hindsight being 2020. But, you know, some questionable decisions, like you said. I mean, the whole playing Nick Fortes and Stallings basically 50-50. I also don't get that. If Stalling wants to keep, or if he has to catch for Sandy, that's great. But Nick Fortes should be getting a lot more play than Stallings, I think. So that decision kind of weirds me out a little bit. I mean, there's a couple things, but even though Spaz said he doesn't like when people do that, when you're a rookie manager, you get some leeway because there are growing pains and they're expected. When you get hired and you have a rookie manager, you kind of know that they're going to have some growing pains. And because they've done so well throughout the year, I think that people are okay with it as of now.
So that's why I have you guys, because I'm a crazy person and I have Historian to be like,
skip out.
Yeah. So when Historian used it's a marathon, yes, it's really hard to make it to the end of the season the way you started it. So Historian, thank you very much. I appreciate you keeping me level-headed and you guys for keeping me honest. So all right.
Be honest, you were ready to just say skip out, weren't you?
No, never. I really like him. I like our swole daddy coach. He is amazing. So
yeah,
he's fine.
I mean, and to be fair, like we'll see how we finish out the season, right? If we are like 15 games out of the wild card by the time we end the season, then yeah, we're all gonna have a very different opinion of Skip than we do right now. But I don't see that happening.
Did you see us going 12-24 after the All-Star break?
Absolutely not. No.
A part of, and Spazzy can attest this, a part of us as Marlins fans always thinks we're gonna lose. We're gonna go 0-36.
and Historian chips in. I'm just drowning myself in Chuck Carr highlights to cope. That's not a bad look. Those are great highlights.
I reposted that today on my Instagram because I mentioned it as well. Man, that man made me fall in love with this team because he was so freaking cool. So thank you, Historian, for posting that video. It's, amazing video. If you guys don't follow Marlins Historian on Twitter, and I think Marlins Historian, Marlins History on Instagram. Yeah. So thank you, Historian.
If you don't follow him, I don't know what the hell you're doing listening to us.
Honestly.
No, if they're listening, they're watching for sure. They're watching him. All right. So Lizardo, like you said, you both of you guys weren't here last week. I was on here with Callie and Loud Marlins fan, and the three of us were talking about how maybe Lizardo should skip a start because he's had a rough go. Maybe just skip a start, see if that helps. He didn't, and he came out and he shut the three of us up because he pitched the gem. But last year, I believe he pitched about 100 innings. This year he's at 143 with like 6 weeks left in the season, give or take.
Yeah.
Are they going to have to look into shutting him down? Because, 6 weeks to go. That is what? Another 8-9 starts? Do you think that he's going to get shut down for a bit?
I don't think we can afford to. Right? Because if you look like and Braxton Garrett is another guy, like you look at at his innings pitched, the most he's pitched was last year. He pitched 88 innings last year. He's up to 128 now.
Well,
like
Braxton.
these guys are at a point in their development, right? Because they're both 25. Like this is where they need to learn to actually throw innings. So I don't think you shut these guys down. You let them go through the season unless we completely fall apart and then it's like let the kids play. But I think you have to let these guys do it because at some point you have to take the training wheels off of these guys. And when you look at like a guy like Lizardo, when I saw that this is the most innings he's ever pitched, I was shocked because you think of him as like a veteran guy, who's, pitched in the majors for a while because he's been good for so long. And, at this point, if you want those guys to be like Sandy's number 2 or number 3, they have to get the innings in. Sandy is a workhorse. He's been doing it. When Sandy turned 25, let me look at it. He pitched. Yeah, he threw 205 innings. And that was his high point until last year when he threw 228. These guys are at the point where they have to start throwing a lot of innings. Sandy at 23 was throwing 197 innings.
And you brought up Braxton.
Have to put it in.
Yeah, the Marlins are 18-7 in Braxton starts. So I
think you start Braxton first inning every game.
I'd have to go back and check, but I would assume first inning every game. Okay, I would assume that he probably has the best winning percentage of any starting pitcher on the team right now. But I'm not sure. I have to go back and check that. But 18-7, that's solid. When Braxton's out there, you feel pretty good that you'll probably walk away with a
Yeah,
dub.
he does by far too. His win percentage is 636. Next closest is Yuri at 556.
There you go. So
And then Lizardo at 529. Edward Cabrera 455. Sandy 353.
yeah. Sandy's the worst by far. He, like you said, he
Yeah.
gets no run support. On top of the fact that he had a rough go in the beginning of the season, he gets no run support. So
Yeah.
that wasn't a surprise.
Call him
No,
out,
'cause-
Sandy. Call him out.
Yeah, because if you
Might
look
as
at
well.
Sandy's pitching stats, like they're pretty similar to what they were. I don't compare to last year, but his previous 2 seasons in the bigs, like it's pretty similar to that. Like, but his win percentage is far worse.
No, he just kept coughing it up in one inning every game. It was really wild to see, but it was
Yeah.
just one inning every game. All right, Yuri Perez. Now that you had just brought him up, we know that he will probably get shut down at some point because he can't keep throwing the way he's throwing because he's young, first year in the majors. How long do we see Yuri? Would you want to see him shut down right now so we can bring him back in late September, or
No.
let's ride it out until we shut him down for the rest of the season?
We just don't have those options, I don't think, because we need to win now. And
Nah,
we
but
said
we
if we send them back, what are our chances of winning? To try to climb back into this race because we're two games behind right now.
I thought it was 2. Brand said 3.5. I'll double check.
I thought it was 3.5, but I could be wrong.
I just
So-
I don't see that we have any options to send them down, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, there's no one in the system right now who could come up and take his spot. Weathers, I think their attempt at throwing him against the Padres was to see if maybe he had what it took to kind of stick in the rotation. I think that's maybe they let him go against the Nationals again to see what he does against a worse team. But I don't see how they can shut Yuri down when we're still in the race.
And it's 2 games. We're currently 2 games out of 500, out of the wild card.
Yeah, so I mean, if you send Yuri down or shut him down, like you're gonna end up using an option up on I don't even know who they would call up because Trevor Rogers isn't close to coming back.
Your boy
Max Myers
Monteverde.
isn't. I would hope so. I hope he's one of the September call-ups, but if you ask me if I want to have Yuri or Monteverde, I'll say Yuri.
Of course.
So, I hope we don't shut him down, but I mean, it all depends on the rest of the season. If we drop out of this race, then shut him down, shut everybody down, let the kids play. But we're not there yet.
Didn't Weathers get sent down to the minors?
Already?
I didn't see that move, but it's
No?
possible.
I didn't either, but I wouldn't doubt it, but I didn't see that move quite yet.
Yeah, let me go.
Yeah, somebody
Right.
checked. I could have sworn I saw it somewhere that the Marlins sent him down.
Maybe historian knows.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
historian
you're
knows.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
They sent
did.
him down and they activated Nance.
Okay, there you go. So I'm not.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I'm not totally
Alright.
full of shit.
So with the way C's just timed in, I think so. So yes, and Bratton just confirmed he did get sent down. So with the way things have played out over the last 36 games, 12 and 24, 2 games out of the wild card, and it's basically a 6-team race. Right now, the 6 teams fighting for 3 spots. It's Philadelphia, the Cubs, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, the Giants, and the Marlins. 6 teams fighting for 3 spots. So where are you guys as far as confidence in the rest of the season? Because I know a lot of people are starting to lose it. And I'll pull up here. This is what the schedule looks like coming up. So we have 3 against the Nationals. We have 2 against the Rays. Then we have 4 against the Nationals, 3 against the Dodgers. And then these are the really important games, right? When you start playing against Philly, because they're the ones that are fighting for that wild card spot. You got the Brewers, the Braves, the Mets, the Brewers, the Mets, the Pirates. So again, we said the fifth hardest schedule. We're fighting with another 6 teams for 3 spots. Are you guys losing any hope on making it into the playoffs?
I mean, I'm not looking forward to this schedule you have in front of my face here. This is torture. Now, against the Nationals, I feel like, and I guess we'll get into that in at the end of this. But against the Nationals, hopefully we're okay. The Rays are the Rays, man. I mean, those motherfuckers.
We beat them. We split with them last time.
We did, yes.
That's right.
They don't scare me.
I was on a high after that split.
F the Rays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Slip was just awful. So yeah, man. Branson, how about you, man? Because I think we could deal with the Nationals. I think the Phillies, unfortunately, I think I've said this before. Historically, I love beating the Phillies. But dude, they're like hot. So
they are. You saw Bryce Harper's inside the park home run.
I know, dude. It's I mean, I don't want to be afraid of them, but goddamn, they're fucking doing some shit.
Yeah. No, they really are. But, the Nationals, and, well, historian beat me to it. Nationals are streaking right now. So they're looking pretty good. I would be I'm a little nervous about the run-in. I'm not going to lie. If we make the wild card, it's going to be that last spot. I have a feeling we're either going to be that last spot or we're going to miss out. We're going to be the 4th team out of 3. I look at the schedule and I see Brewers, Braves. Dodgers. I don't know. It makes me nervous. I feel like I say this every episode. If we're going to be serious and if we're going to make the wild card, we have to end the Nationals hot streak. We got to end them.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that, because against the Nationals, we have 7 of the next 9 games are against the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take advantage. You have to take 5 of those. Take 5 of those 7. Because if you could take 5 of those 7, all of a sudden you propel yourself into good position. If you could split with the Rays and take 5 out of 7 against the Nationals, and I know that's wild what I'm saying, because they are streaking and the Marlins are anything but streaking, but you have to figure out a way to get that done, because at that point you put yourself in good position, because right after that, those 7 out of 9 against the Nationals, then you have the Dodgers, the Phillies coming right up after that, and then the Brewers, and then you got the Braves. So you got 2 really tough weeks after you're done with those national games. So you really have to. I feel like we'll have a better idea of how we should feel about this team and the playoff chances after the Nationals, right? Well, because we have 3 against the Nationals coming up. So I think we'll know next week.
Honestly, because
by Sunday afternoon we'll know what's going on.
Yeah. If we get swept by the Nationals, I think it's
why would you say
it's bleak, but I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly, the Nationals are streaking, but the Nationals are not a good team. Just because they're winning right now doesn't mean that they have great players at every position. They've gotten weaker since the last time we played them. So, I think we can rebound there. And if you want to look at it, the good thing is we have the Dodgers at home, we have the Braves at home, we have the Mets at home, and we have the Brewers again at home. We have some big series at home, and that Braves series in particular taking over a weekend. I expect Lone Depot, if we take care of business with the Nationals, I expect it to be packed. And I expect it to be serious atmosphere and an actual home field advantage.
And the Marlins are playing well at home. We're 10 games over 500 at home and 8 games under 500 away on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I needed to hear, Danny. Let's go.
So at home, we're looking decent. So we got 2 series coming up, 3 against the Nationals at home, and then we have 2 against the Rays at home. So we'll just talk about the next 5 games, right? Because then the next Thursday, the reason we do this show on Thursdays because a lot of times it's an off day on Thursdays. Yeah. But we actually have a game next Thursday night. But we'll talk about the next 5 games. 3 Nationals, 2 Rays. It's prediction time. And as always, I like to start with the most optimistic of us all, Spaz. How do you see this playing out in the next 5 games, Spaz?
I'm gonna go full Danny mode.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go full Danny, full Peter Pratt mode. We're gonna we're gonna sweep the Nats. We're gonna sweep the Nats, especially because on Sunday we got Levon Hernandez Day, baby.
Woo!
Ooh.
Bobblehead day.
Did you see the video
Oh, it's
of him
great.
reviewing the bobblehead? I was like, oh man.
It's so good.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to make it out to the park. I mean, not gonna try. I'm gonna be there because I need that bobblehead.
Snag me one.
I will try for sure.
Why aren't
I
you gonna
got
be
your
there,
Messi
Brent?
flag.
Yeah, you got my Messi flag. Yes, that's true. I owe you, buddy. I got you.
Is it this
That's
flag you're talking about?
There. Oh,
Right here,
look at these
buddy.
guys just flaunting it like that.
So, all right. So you say we're sweeping the Nats, and how are we looking against the Rays?
I'll go split, man. I think we hurt them. We hurt. Oh look, there's a drone show on Friday. The historian said there's a drone show. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I've never seen one of those.
That's cool.
Well, definitely reasons to go out on Friday is one, the drone show, and two, we have Braxton Garrett, the best winning percentage. Flashback Friday.
Ooh.
I'll jump ahead of you, Brent, and I'm gonna predict
Go for it.
100% we win on Friday. Like I have no doubt. Yuri, drone, flashback, we're winning. We're winning 10-0 on Friday. So we got Friday down. Now Saturday, Yuri Perez. I mean, I can't feel not confident with Yuri on the mound. So that's 2. We got 2-0. Now we don't know who's pitching yet. I'm assuming it's gonna be, I don't know, probably one of those bullpen days on Sunday, possibly. So I don't know if Hoeing is going to start or what's happening there. So let's say we don't sweep. I'm not as confident as Spaz there. So let's say we go 2-1 there. I think we split against the bitch ass Rays. We go 1-1 there, and we end up, what is that? 3-2? 3-2 in the next 5.
Yeah.
I mean, not great, but you know, we just got to make sure that we keep winning series. 4-1. C says 4-1. And historian says the Marlins returns as the Bees.
Yeah.
There you go. Florida Marlins return.
Yeah.
All right, Bratton. Predictions.
So I
for the
don't know
next
if
5.
it's my Gary Sheffield glass with Dontrell on the side that I'm drinking out of today, but we're going
drinking the
4-1,
juice?
baby. We're sweeping those goddamn Nats. We're sweeping them.
I like it. I like
And
it.
it won't even be close. There's not. Dave Roberts is going to get 3 days off. We're not going to see him.
You know what? First of all, I think we're 10-0. We're kicking their ass on Friday. We're going to kick their ass on Friday. And on Saturday, Yuri Perez is going to pitch a gem.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a close game because he's not going to get much run support. And Dave Robertson will have his second clean inning of his Marlins tenure. 1, 2, 3, 9th inning.
Ooh,
Ballsy,
that's a little too optimistic.
Yeah,
for
ballsy,
me.
bro.
No, I'm feeling it. This it's coming around. It's coming around.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think we sweep the Nats though. Like we've been, even if Sunday does turn out to be a bullpen day, like we've been really good with bullpen days this year.
As long as
Actually,
Ryan
those
Woods
have been
isn't
better
starting
than
them.
some of our starters going. But and then the Rays, I think we can split that.
So do I.
You know, I don't want to go
It's at
full
home.
Peter Pratt and say we're gonna go 5-0, but
No.
but I think 4-1
Sandy
is
pitches
realistic.
well against the AL, and Sandy's gonna have one
Yeah.
of those games. So whatever game Sandy's pitching, I say we win that one.
Well, so this is the other thing. Like, if Sandy's going in one of those games, the other game's probably Luzardo, right?
Yeah, but Luzardo,
know.
I'm not. He's. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm too confident.
You shut your mouth. Luzardo's a saint. Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So, any final thoughts here, guys?
Branson, go ahead. Go for it.
no, just, you know, a lot of reasons to get out to the ballpark this weekend. You know, just get out there and support them, because this is as make or break as it's gotten in this season. Like, if we don't get behind this team and push them, like, and we, like, if we go 0-5 in this streak, like, it's done. We're not coming back.
No.
So
that's it.
And I don't think this team's going to do that. I don't think they're going to disappoint us like that. I think they're going to come through this and, like, just get out there and support. A lot of good initiatives going on. Like the Levon Hernandez bobblehead is beautiful if you haven't seen it. just like the Chuck Carr one was earlier this season. Like,
I'm gonna try to
Go
make
and
it out
snag it.
for Sunday. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it
Yeah.
out on Sunday for sure.
and who doesn't love a drone show? I
Ah,
don't know what that is, but I'm all in.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, Spaz?
No, man. I mean, like Brenton said, this is make or break right now. So I'm gonna try to be out there now. Now I want to go Friday for the drone show. Like now, Miss Sorgan has it in my head.
Yeah.
But for sure, I'm getting that live on. Brenton, I'm gonna try to get you one. Danny, are you and Chris gonna try to go?
For sure. Yeah, Chris, I believe already has tickets because
Oh,
he
he
wanted to leave on. So, and I'm
Nothing
gonna
but
try to
more
make
games
it
than
out.
I do. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, his son has
I
gotten
love
really into baseball, so it's really
Love
cool. So
it.
he's
Good,
he's
good,
enjoying. That's always the dream, right? To kind of pass on the love of a sport to your
Oh my
kids.
gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's passing on the baseball and soccer thing to him. So that's really cool. So yeah, he's been making it out to a lot of games, especially the bobbleheads, because his kid loves the bobbleheads.
Perfect.
So there you go. Chris is on. I didn't even realize Chris was on here. I will be going, no doubt.
All right, I'll see you there, Chris. Yeah, fuck it. I'll go. I mean, I'm gonna be. I need that bobblehead.
Yeah,
So,
same
and
here.
Brent, I'll try to snag you an extra one.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
get out to the park and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll keep bringing the content and all that shit.
Hell
For
yeah.
sure. And we're gonna see if we can have a special guest on next week.
Yes.
But if you are listening on audio, thank you for listening all the way to the end. We appreciate it. Please leave a review, 5 stars, comment, all that other good stuff, and share. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And for those of you that took the time to join the chat, thank you as always. You guys are always the best part of the show when you guys chime in. And until the next one, please have a good one.